And thank God, we are operating our government with separation of powers, while the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary have respective powers, and they are institutionally separated, and both in terms of personnel, they operate in tandem. I do not think this bill will see the light of the day. It wouldn't have the assent of the president. I want to preempt that. Exactly. I want to predict that.
Now, you look at the manner in which the bill itself was passed.
Yes.
It was shrewdly sneak into the assembly.
Certainly.
A first, second reading went in
expressly.
Yes. And then there was no public consultation.
Yes.
There is supposed to be public input.
Certainly.
But everything was done and was shrouded in secrecy.
Yes.
Until when it was passed yesterday.
Yes. Everybody was shocked, utterly. And honestly, I want to use this very robust platform, veritable platform, a medium of communication, information, and mobilization of citizens of Nigeria, that the public hearing should not be domiciled in the National Assembly alone.
Exactly.
It should be made to go, if possible, the 36 states, or at least geopolitical zones. And geopolitical zones should be well spread. You don't keep something in Lafia and expect Mina to have input. If you make it in Lafia, let it take care of Plateau, Benue, let Mina host Kwara and maybe Kogi as well, so that you feel the pulse of the nation. Honestly, there are not at this time. There are more pressing matters that require this kind of speed. The House, both Senate and House of Representatives, has pledged the country, and at this point in time, I want to recommend sessions for our legislators at the upper and lower levels, sessions on patriotism, sessions on nationalism, and sessions that will make them feel the pulse of the nation. Honestly, we've got more pressing things. Children out of school, and even those in school, I get intimidated, doctor.
Exactly.
Each time I drive through the streets of Mina, Soleja, Kwantawura, and Bidda, I'm marveled that what? Look at the army of youths. These are going to school, and if we appraise the content of what they go and do, most of them are whiling away time.
Exactly.
So these are not the present things at the moment. More so that we will continue to give credit to Akenkumi and even the military, if they were the ones who composed this. Dr. Dantala, I recall when President Clinton came to Nigeria, these were some of the things that trailed in that same chamber, the green chamber, was where the boat houses sat. When the military came, yes, he was thrilled.
Exactly.
And when President Obasanjo's turn came to speak, the intro was given and the background music the military played, which are some of all these hymns in the national anthem, thrilled him. And he made comments that he has never seen something like this. He became flabbergasted.
Exactly.
So I don't know why we throw away a very valuable thing that has made us unique over the years. Like I told you, what becomes of the video where Nduka Ubadi lifted the World Cup in China? That is one of the best moments in the history of Nigeria. So we throw it away.
And even when Nigeria lifted gold at the Olympics,
similar thing,
the entire world stood still. The national anthem was
sung. Yes, I mean, it was a thing of comfort. This, yes, more so it is indigenous. It's not the imperialist composed one. And honestly, if you look at it, it motivates. It motivates. Look at even the second stanza of the thing. It was talking to God.
Exactly.
At a point in time, we even adopted it, including the National Assembly, that it should be the national prayer at events. So what do we flip-flop as a nation?
Now, can we say the bill is sponsored by the majority leader of the House? I've forgotten his name now.
Okay.
But he's the majority leader in the House.
Okay.
And can we say maybe that also expresses the quality of the representations we have?
Certainly. That's why I talked about it. That I know when they are elected, they are usually haven't been privileged to serve at the National Assembly and the upper chamber as a legislative aide. They are usually taken to a location, and they are usually given training by the National Assembly Legislative Institute, headed by Professor Suleiman, former Minister of Planning. They do a lot of work in that, but I think basics are not contained there. The basics of patriotism, nationalism. Honestly, it's a figment of his imagination that he brought in, and very interestingly, like I said, the House of Reps is a House of Nigeria. Unlike the Senate, where I think it went in, there were oppositions.
Exactly.
In the House, there were dissenting voices. There were people who even spoke that, is this what we desire? But honestly, it's a figment of his imagination he brought in, and he wants to spread on Nigerians and trust Nigerians. I was on channels. I was doing my research to come on air, and I saw on channels the comments that are coming on board. Nigerians are very vibrant people. They are active citizens, and I believe this thing will not see the light of the day. I'm confident President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not hit today as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, because I do not know the quantum or the kind of they have not even examined the kind of task they have brought even before the armed forces and civil societies. You bring in a new anthem, you come. I mean, we start learning. Do we learn? We start learning like that. I
also feel for the young ones.
Certainly.
Because when you look at even the old anthem,
yes,
I think it was sung in the Victorian English.
English, of course.
And for the young person,
yes,
may never have the opportunity
yes,
to even listen to a Victorian English,
yes,
or even read scripts written in Victorian English.
Certainly.
They begin to wonder, what kind of English is this?
You are right. And that brings me to a validly accepted philosophical dictum that says happiness are historically specific.
Exactly.
If you relate and if you still link up with those who were trained in the classics,
yes,
in his late, may the late soul of Alhaji Idris Alasan Paki rest in the bosom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and function. He looked at us and said, you are trained in the American style, and we were in the classics. I mean, you can recall, I mean, you look at how they fantastically spoke.
Exactly.
He will tell you, you here present, like you rightly said. Look at, we are grappling with the problem of social media that has made, that has watered down language, knowledge, and everything. So you are right. Nigeria, we hail D. That's you know, so confusion.
Exactly.
This is going to breed confusion, please. Let the discipline dog lie and let the legislators, please, look the other way. But like I said, the principles of separation of powers as propounded by Baron Montesquieu has said that though they are separated as institutions in both of personnel and institutional operations, they correlate. And the correlation is in that very spectacular principle of checks and balances. So I want to believe even if the executive veers or dances to the tune of the judiciary, I trust in, I mean, to the tune of legislation, I trust in judiciary that would declare that as ultra-vice, an unconstitutional act, and Nigerians in the court of public opinion will resist this. I'm confident, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Alhaji Abubakar Danjuma Mohammed Bidda. He's a public analyst, and together we are looking at the bill that was passed yesterday by the Nigerian House of Representatives to replace the national anthem with the old version of the anthem, which we play to you at the preset of this program. The members of House of Representatives unanimously agreed that the anthem should be changed. But again, that process too was devoid of public hearing. Ideally, the bill should have gone through public hearing to also feel the impulse of Nigerians on this proposal. But again, it was given a speedy hearing, and of course, it will now move to the House of Senate. I think
the Senate has discussed it. It was concurrently discussed.
Okay.
Distinguished Senator Mohammed Ndimi, and I said Mohammed Ndimi, Mohammed Mungunu spoke eloquently, and some other senators like that. But honestly, I was pissed off. I was not really concentrating. But both chambers, it had a holistic approval or a kind of tacit endorsement.
Now, if there is this overwhelming approval from the legislators,
yes,
could it be that there's already an agenda on the ground, probably?
Certainly.
Because for a bill like this to have this kind of reception at the legislative chamber means that it is a bill that is weighty. It has weight.
Yes.
And probably there are maybe some kind of powers behind that particular bill, more so that it has been sponsored by a majority leader?
Honestly, all issues revolve around interests. This is an English program, but I will crave the indulgence of listeners and I will attempt to translate. This is what the Hausaman says, akwai lauje cikin naɗi ko? So, mashallah, things like that are there, and we shouldn't lose sleep of the fact that these are politicians, or what politics revolves around his interests. So certainly there's a propelling interest, but my brother, Dr. Ntala, I am confident this is Nigeria. We have gone through developments like this, or instances, or experience like this, and came out stronger. We had the third time, and so many other dramas like that on the floor of those two chambers, and we saw how they went. I am confident Nigerians are vibrant citizens who will not...
you know, in the past, when we used to have orientation agencies that usually help in heightening awareness among the Nigerians,
yes,
government policies usually have a speedy movement into the average Nigerians.
Yes.
Today, even the national orientation is comatose, and ideally these are agencies that will have been utilized to propel and move this new proposal into the minds of Nigerians.
Yes.
Now, with such kind of machines in comatose, to what extent do you think even this reversion will be put to use by an average Nigerian? Because first, we have the assemblies usually conducted in primary and secondary schools on daily basis, and the national anthem is being sung. During public occasions, the national anthem is being sung, and so many international engagements. So at what point can this new anthem become something that could be sung and be performed by Nigerians during occasions?
I alluded to this earlier when I told you Nigerians are grappling with the problem of poverty,
economic retardation,
insecurity. Thank you very much.
Everywhere around the
world. Yes. So I don't know, like you rightly said. For me, I do not know, honestly. And just imagine, generations upon generations have internalized this sense. Like I said, they've imbibed it, and just like you rightly observed, it eluded the people proposing this change, that even the language is in classic, what we call, in other words, the Victorian English.
Exactly.
And Nigerians have gravitated to become American, and not even being American, to become Nigerian.
To become hybrids.
Yes, exactly what I'm saying. Yes,
British no longer speak British English.
Certainly, the world has moved.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do we reverse? Do we take 10 steps forward and take 30 backwards? I mean, isn't this tantamount to breeding confusion?
Exactly.
I mean, there are more, like you rightly observed, there are more efforts or conscious and deliberate arrangements that the assembly should be making to galvanize this country once again, to reunite us, because we are highly polarized. Like you said, God rests the soul of Professor Jerry Ghana even while he's alive. I'm not wishing him dead, but I'm only celebrating. I'm referring back to the spectacular and wonderful epoch-making event at Mamsa.
Exactly.
That time has eluded us.
His stewardship was impeccable.
Yes. That is why our brother has a great task. But if you look at it, Nigerians today, like we just talked about insecurity, all these things are worrying Nigerians. However, even within the context, the task of mobilizing Nigerians and galvanizing them
to adopt the new item.
No, not even the new item. Every other thing is a big task before our brother, the Minister of Information and National Orientation. And I want to believe Professor Jerry Ghana's doors should be open to him, and they are. And then we have the legion of those staff of MAMSA who are still living and energetic and can be of, immense productivity to causes like this. Honestly, what we do lack in Nigeria is the sense of national consciousness and patriotism. And nationalism or national consciousness has so reduced to ethnic nationalism and micro-nationalism. Look at, again, I will not hesitate to refer to even Niger. Even Niger, we became sharply divided along ethnic lines.
Exactly.
Thank God for the present leader, the governor, His Excellency. he's a cosmopolitan personality, and the hybrid maybe you're talking of whom, if you go around all the zones of Niger State, same things are happening.
Exactly.
And he completely eschewed all micro nationalistic tendencies or ethnic chauvinism to just see everybody as human and working with everybody.
And what you can contribute.
Yes, what you bring to the table is what you desire.
Exactly.
So honestly, the National Assembly has missed it here.
Thank you so much, Alhaji Abubakar Danjuma Mohammed Bidda. He's a public analyst, like I said, and you can join us on this discussion through the number 09038808883. You can equally visit our Facebook page on Prestigefm to send your text message. You can view us live on our YouTube page on Prestigefm91.7mx. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Dr.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, the guests in the studio.
Good morning.
You are highly welcome to the studio. This is MD Awal.
Okay, go ahead, MD Awal.
Dr. Dantala, did you know life is unbearable to most of Nigerians nowadays?
Yes.
Why am I saying sorry is that for you to let the common Nigerian man know that a member House of Representatives happen to be majority leader is bringing a bill to understand that they should change the national anthem. Dr. Dantala, that is not the problem of the generality of Nigeria nowadays. Let me put to a notice and notice of the generality of people who are listening at home. Why am I saying so is that you can see the kind of dimension we find ourselves in this country, Dr. Dantala. People are dying on a daily basis. People are, life is unbearable on a daily basis. Go to market and see the prices of food are like on a higher side on a daily basis. So what are we saying, Dr. Dantala? Most of our representatives all over the country, Dr. Dantala, I don't think they know what the masses tend to do in the National Assembly, honestly, Dr. Dantala. Because what am I saying so is that this issue of changing of the national anthem is not the problem of the generality of Nigerians for now. So even if he's bringing that rule, you understand that the change national anthem is on its own, like you understand, it's on its own side, honestly. But that is not the problem of Nigeria for now.
Okay, thank you so much, MD Awal, for your contribution. Thank you so much for your contribution. Now, you know, because of the secrecy behind this bill,
Yes.
deliberations, nobody could tell you this is when deliberations were heard at the floor of the assembly.
Yes.
Now, nobody even knew, for example, some of the reasons why the national anthem has to be replaced.
Yes.
They couldn't tell us the weaknesses of the national anthem, and hence the need for replacement, the wisdom behind the replacement, and the benefit of the replacement. You know, Nigerians appear to be in the dark about the whole of this. So could it be that there are a certain group of Nigerians who have a kind of a preset agenda to change maybe the face of Nigeria, or to change the direction of Nigeria shrewdly through the use of the National Assembly and all of that?
I will still refer back to an earlier pronouncement I made that these are politicians. And again, even though we are ardent critics of the military, this late assassinated president, a military leader rather, of Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara.
Yes.
There was this popular statement that was quoted and was very popular then in the 80s, that he said, without adequate political education, a military or a soldier in politics is a potential criminal. I don't know if you get, quote unquote, it was very popular in the universities then. Beautiful. That thing is valid. And personally, I propounded that without adequate political education, a civilian or a politician in politics is a potential criminal.
Exactly.
And he's likely to misplace priorities. So honestly, our politicians, whether elected as executives or parliamentarians, I keep saying to those I know that they require adequate political education. And adequate political education, like learning, is a continuum. It's not what you just go into a session in a hotel in Akwa Ibom or Lagos, or you fly to US, you have a retreat and leave. No, it's something continuously. Wallahi tallahi. If they are adequately or sustainably trained like that, wallahi, human conscience. Because look at the Allah who created the heart didn't make it a steel or a bone. It's something soft. If they come to terms with some realities, in even politics as it is, people will be sober and priorities will be learned to be put in the right place. So without adequate political education, a politician or civilian taking off from what Sankara said is a potential criminal.
Exactly.
And he's likely to misplace priorities and get disconnected with the citizens.
Okay, thank you so much. We have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Antala.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, the guest in the studio.
Good morning.
My name is Comrade Monday.
Comrade?
Monday.
Okay.
Yes, sir. My contribution this morning, sir, it's a thing of surprise to me that a majority leader in the House of Reps will raise such kind of motion that this is not the problem we are facing in Nigeria. We should rather sponsor a bill that will be a benefit to us, to humanity in Nigeria. So to me, going back to the old standard is just like we are going back to square zero. So I don't see anything reasonable for us to go back to the previous, to the old standard. Instead of most of our children, upcoming ones, they are being taught on how this is from the thing itself is very attractive and very motivated. So I don't think there's any reason we should go back to the old standard. That is my contribution this morning.
Okay, thank you so much. Can we say this is even a pseudo public hearing for the bill?
Yes, certainly, Dr. Antala, because I must commend you. Each time it resonates in my thinking that what informed Dr. Antala sitting in Mina discussing Nigeria today. But you know, radio has an unrestricted access. Honestly, you deserve to be awarded by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because you put on the front burner discussions. I mean, topical issues that are in the country. So definitely it is. You can see, alhamdulillah, for this, the variability of media, what I initially would say I predicted that is been confirmed. This is a pause. It is. It's not mini. It's a major plus.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ambassador David the Challenger. I'm calling you from Fulani City.
Okay, Gabriel.
You see, changing of this national anthem is not the best. Secondly, if we take a look at it properly, it's not Nigerians' problem. Our problem is this. If you take a look at it, the issue of insecurity is there, it's still bothering us. The issue of more than half of Nigerians are living in extreme poverty is still bothering us. The issue of this economic hardship that President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is bringing is bothering us. So please, National Assembly should step up, focus their attention on what is bothering Nigerians instead of bringing this issue up. That is not what is bothering us. They should step up and do the needful.
Okay, thank you so much, Gebu the Challenger. Of course, those are not our issues. And of course, they should be able to address the issue, bothering people, if they are true representatives of the people.
Certainly.
Can we say it's because probably some of them never go back to also feel the impulse of the electorate most of times after being elected? You know, when you get marooned in places like Abuja, you tend not to have a clear picture of the true life situation of people in the rural areas and in some other areas of Nigeria.
Yes. You are right, Dr. Ensela, and it takes us to that very, very germane question Nigerians or comment Nigerians make, that there is need to check, rejig, review, and reposition leadership recruitment in Nigeria. I mean, for somebody to emerge as majority leader or even an executive in the House, such a person, I mean, if you reflect back, such a person will be seen as a seasoned representative who has been repeatedly elected to that position. And what is the foundation of that? The tacit approval or acceptance of citizens. I mean, there are stories, these things happen. People fly in from US, from America, from the Britain, Canada, or elsewhere to pick tickets and come in. And like you rightly said, they become disillusioned. I'm sorry, there was this person that was appointed at an international office to take care of poverty in Nigeria, and he was saying that the Nigerians are rich. That was beautiful. I didn't want to call him because professionally, they say it's unethical to be on air and call names. And I recall Adams Ashomole was in the panel with him and told him, Mr. Man, you are disconnected. You see flashy vehicles, you see fantastic infrastructure in Abuja. That is not Nigeria. You need to go down. And, things like this. So these kind of people are completely disconnected and detached, and like you said, marooned in Abuja. And look at now, they even have another beautiful chamber that even the British Parliament doesn't look like. So once you are there, you are completely detached. You have electricity supplied uninterruptedly.
You have all the comfort.
All the comfort, and you begin like my stepmom, may her soul rest in peace. She was a Hausa woman. She would say, "Oshi can kawo hauka."
Yes, exactly.
So the moment one has eaten and his stomach is full, he begins to, say nonsense. I'm sorry to say to use that word, but things that don't make sense.
Exactly.
Look at from the feelers we are having now. Is the problem the economic situation in the country should receive this kind of speedy legislation?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And modalities to reduce poverty, modalities to make citizens buy food fast, food at affordable prices. They should receive this kind of speedy things. Exactly. Education. Look at it. It's not even about saying people don't go to school. You can afford education. Things like this. Let's have this legislation in these areas first.
Okay, let's go back to the line again. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Please, this is our House of Assembly people. It should have better focus for, like me now, I think even the national team cannot, even the present national team cannot see this. Even the present one. I have the people, every day people wake up with a problem. What does the national team have to do with us? I cannot, I can remember the last time I was singing the national team was when I was in the secondary school. Well, even if the interview came up now and they asked me to sing the national team, I cannot even sing it. People are dying in the village. Look at the wind we are suffering. Look at so many things. We don't even have a bill to sponsor except national anthem something. Haba. This is very bad. We elected people. Does that mean we elected you to go and send the national anthem to us? Haba. This is very but all what is everybody will die and we will submit ourselves to our creator. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. He said the last time he sang it was when he was in secondary school. People, Nigerians appear to be panel beaten now by the hardships of life, competing demands everywhere. If you are a family head, competing demands are before you, and the take-home package cannot be assumed to, it can't take you to the bus stop.
Yes.
But members of the National Assembly have what we truly call the take-home package. Theirs, of course, take them home, right to their home, even though they prefer to go to go away rather than go back to their constituencies.
Yes.
But again, honestly, I think this bill, in your opinion, finally, what should the President do if the bill is placed before him?
Honestly, in my personal opinion, which I earlier aired on this very program, is that I should just hold on to the assent. Shouldn't assent to it. It's not a priority. And he will win the hearts of Nigerians who overtly or covertly accuse him of being the architect of their predicaments. He will become their hero. Because like I told you, we have tested it on Prestige. Let them do the zonal hearing, not only the one in the National Assembly. They should spread it down, let it get down. I think if representatives will not even be there. Maybe they only send their technocrats in the National Assembly service to come for such things. It wouldn't see the light of the day. The president, in my opinion, should hold on to the assent to it. Then I am not a senator or a representative. I only worked there as an aide. If there is anything in their principles, practices, and procedures to step down this thing, by now they should be working on it, because Nigerians have come out to talk about it. Please, we want, like you rightly observed, we want a reorientation of our citizens through a conscious and deliberate mobilization to galvanize us. And once again, we come back. You had a discussion on NYSC.
Yes.
Our youths need to even be repositioned. They need to be reoriented, re-educated on the part of patriotism, nationalism, and we move on. Because whatever development you have, without a sense of national consciousness and patriotism, it's utter trash.
Exactly, utter trash. Thank you so much, Alhaji Abubakar Danjuma Mohammed Bidda, a public affairs analyst. We sincerely appreciate your contribution to the program. You can see 1 hour is just like 1 minute.
Yes, like
we've been discussing here at least in the last 40 minutes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all your contributions.
My pleasure, Dr.
And we sincerely appreciate your presence and your commitment too to the discussions.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And listeners, I'm afraid our time is fast spent. We have to draw the curtain of the program here. We appreciate all those who have made their calls and those who have sent in their text messages. Stephen Jia brought us live on our Facebook page, and of course Ahmed Isa Sakbi has been the DC on duty. And on behalf of this, my name is Mohammed Nantala Ali, hoping that you continue to remain good citizens of Nigeria. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.